How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about forget stopping drinking alcohol, do this instead. This is a tongue-in-cheek title, by the way. There are just many mistakes that can be made when stopping drinking alcohol, right? And this, I think, the mistake that I'm talking about here is one of the worst. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know, like the alcohol drinking itself, its great impact is not being felt until much later down the line. In this video I'm going to talk about the mistake, and I'm going to show you how to avoid it. People who succeed, or they fall away from the alcohol, everyone has the same aim when they start this journey out, and that aim is to stop drinking alcohol, regardless of whether you succeed or not. So having that as an aim in your life, having that as an aim in the beginning, it's that there's no goal in stop drinking alcohol, right? After you stop day one, what do you do then, right? You know, you've stopped drinking alcohol on day one, and if you never put the alcohol into your body, you've succeeded. You know, you've succeeded on that minute that you stop. So the time that you go to bed the night before and you've had your last drink, you've actually stopped from that stage. What do you do after you stop drinking alcohol? Do you keep stopping? You know, you can't do that. It's not physically possible. I mean, you do it once and that's it, you've stopped. You know, there's no process in stopping drinking alcohol, right? It's a single, simple task. Don't put the alcohol into your body. And what then? What do you do? Again, you know, keep not doing what you don't want to do. It's just not logical, right? You stop doing it once and then that's it. You don't do it again. You know, both of these things mean that you have to keep alcohol in your mind. If you have to keep saying to yourself, what is it I'm not supposed to be doing? Not drinking alcohol. I'm not supposed to do this. What am I not supposed to do? I'm not supposed to drink alcohol. And the focus then is always on the alcohol, because you cannot not do something without thinking about the thing that you're not supposed to be doing. You know, this is why people are still thinking about alcohol 20 years after they've stopped, right? One of the reasons. It's not the whole reason, but it's one of the reasons, right? So the best way to avoid this is to turn around and focus on the new journey. Yes, we're focusing on the goals, but we're focusing more on the long-term process. If you think about it, let's say that this is a board here, a blackboard, and people are writing on their blackboard of their future. What am I going to do in the future? I'm going to do this and that and the other, right? And they're writing down, this is a list I'm going to do, that's a list I'm going to do. And most people, when they're writing the list like this, they're checking back on their past and they're going, yeah, what am I going to do here? I'm going to, what did I do in the past? Oh yeah, I did that in the past and I did that in the past, right? So that means I can do this, right? I did that in the past. Yeah, I've also done that. I can do this, right? What you should do is you should turn the other way around and ignore your past, right? And start writing down the new things that you want to do. You've only got one life in this, right? You've only got one life. So the things that you want to do, the things that you want to become in your life, the person that you want to become, should have nothing to do with the things that you've done before. Like I said, we focus on the new journey, not the old journey continuing, but the new journey, right? You leave a lot of the old stuff. I'm not saying that you don't have to bring anything from your past. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you're doing is probably good stuff, you know, that you want to bring into your future. You know, I always think about my own self from the past and think, whenever I'm regretting the drinking that I've done, I always say to myself, if I hadn't have done that drinking, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I like my life now. I love my life now. Do you know, there's a lot of stuff that happened. My son probably wouldn't be born if it wasn't for my drinking, because I met my wife in a bar. So I wouldn't have met her in a bar. I met his mother in a bar. Do you know what I mean? So this is a new journey. Most of the things, a lot of the things that I'm going to be doing are either new things or they're a new twist on an old thing, right? So, like I said, there's going to be goals, but we're focusing on the long-term process. So, I want to just take a few examples, and they might seem a bit facetious, but I'm not trying to be. I want to take some examples from when you're a kid, right? When a baby is learning to walk, They don't focus on not crawling. That's not their focus. They don't say to themselves, oh, well, I'm not going to crawl anymore. I'm not going to crawl anymore. They focus on standing up. They focus on moving their legs. They focus on balancing. They focus on moving forward, stepping forwards while balancing. And then they focus on moving faster and walking and then running. Do you get what I mean? They're not focused on what they're leaving behind. They're focused on what they want to do in front of them, right? A baby learning to talk, to give you another example, it doesn't focus on not babbling. I don't want to babble anymore, therefore I'm going to learn how to talk. So how do I not babble? Right, I don't babble. How would you do that? You know, they focus on forming single words. They focus on forming sounds first that represent single words or what they hear. And then they focus on forming single words. And depending on the responses that they're getting from their parents or their brothers and sisters or whatever, then they correct their words and try and form new words and more words and adding words together and forming sentences, and then larger and larger vocabulary, fluency, you know, maybe even growing up to write the next hit screenplay, right? What I'm saying to you is that it all starts out with focusing on what they want to do. We focus on the purpose of life. You know, what are you going to do in the future? You know, I think we've got too much of this in our world where we're basically we're leading our lives based around what we've done in the past. You know, a lot of psychotherapy is based around this. Well, because of all this, because your parents did this to you and because your parents were this way and that way, then obviously you are what you are. But we've got to look at it from the other way around and say, well, no, I am what I am at the moment, but it doesn't mean to say that I have to be that way. You know, learning everything in life is based on forward focus, not backwards. You know, we don't focus our minds on just what we know at this level. We focus on the next level and the next level above that. You focus on what you're going to learn and then once you get to a certain level, you start to drop off things that you don't need anymore. Things that, you know, parts of your mind, parts of your knowledge that just weren't serving you, parts of your knowledge that were wrong, you drop them off and you go, well, that's not serving me anymore, so I don't need that. And that's an automatic process. You know, the best way to lose weight is not to focus on the weight number on the scale, but on the lifestyle of the person that you want to be. You know, if you focus on that weight on the scale and you focus all your energies on that, there's a difficulty in that, in the sense that anything could cause a lift in that weight. Water, you drink enough water and it's going to cause enough weight. Drink a pint full of water and then step on the scale and you're going to add whatever, a kilo onto your weight. If you get to a certain stage in your journey and you've got to that thing and you're saying to yourself, well, yeah, I've lost the weight that I need to lose, but I'm going to go back to my old lifestyle, then you're going to put the weight back on. So if you focus, instead of the weight on the scale and instead of the diet, you focus on the lifestyle of the person that you want to be. You know, this is something I learned from one of my personal trainers. He said, if you want to be an athlete, you have to live like an athlete. You've got to live like an athlete. He said, you at the moment are living like a couch potato, and that's what you look like. And it was a hard thing to take from him, you know, and he was saying it in a jokey way, but it was true. You know, if you want to be a super salesman, it's the same thing. You know, I'm 6'2", and when I stopped drinking alcohol, I weighed about 250 pounds, so 113 kilos, and I needed to think about the maintenance level, the eating and activity. I didn't do this at the time, but this is the way I'm thinking now. This is the way I should have thought at the time. I should have thought about the maintenance level and the eating level and the activity level of the person that I wanted to be. And that person would have been, so for me, at 6'2", the ideal weight for me is about 82 kilos, so it's about 180 pounds. And the calorie count for that person is just about 2,100 calories. If I eat no more than that, that calorie count is not going to sustain a 250 pound adult, right? You're going to drop weight if you know, the only reason I was 250 pounds was because I was eating way more than that, or drinking my calories in way more than that. Do you get what I mean? So I'm going to lose weight if I think to myself, well, I'm going to live the lifestyle of somebody who is 50 pounds lighter or 60 pounds lighter than I am. right? So, you know, that's just from one perspective, but this happens all across your life, right? You know, you have to factor exercise into that, and if you want to speed up the process, then obviously you drop a bit more. You know, you don't eat 2,200 calories, you might eat only 1,800 calories or something like that, you know. So when I say forget about stopping drinking alcohol, I mean do the deed, right? Get it over with. You stop drinking, just don't put it into your mouth anymore. Then move on, right? And I mean move on. I really literally mean forget about stopping drinking alcohol. Once you have stepped across that line and you stop drinking alcohol, forget about alcohol as quickly as you possibly can. There's no need to think about it anymore. There's no help for you in thinking about it anymore. There's no advantage to you, right? There's only a hindrance. You know, yes, you can go back to your past after you're comfortable in your present. Once you feel comfortable in the new life that you're building, and your general direction is aiming squarely at your own future and what you want to do, then you can go back and address some of these things in your past, because you'll be in a much better frame of mind to do it. But to start addressing your past and to start looking back at your past and addressing all the shit stuff that you've done in your past, right, in that state where you are at your most vulnerable, that's bullshit. Don't do any of that. Wait until you're less vulnerable, and you'll be in a much better position then to actually do something about your past, or to make your apologies, or to think, well, yeah, I've done that before and I'm not going to do that again. Do you get what I mean? So focus on where you want to go, not on where you've come from. You know, if you found this helpful and you really like this video, then 7 realities about stopping drinking alcohol that you need to hear. That's up here, one of these places anyway. If you want to download our quick start guide, it's a video course that is less than an hour long, and it's really designed to help you to step across that starting line, get to that person that you want to be very, very quickly. It gives you a lot of clarity about where you are and where you're going to go, and confidence and courage to step over that line. Take good care of yourself. I will speak to you again in the next video. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.